the biggest tribute we can make at an event that honors individuals for their achievements and contributions is to use the title of one of Patrick's biggest hits, Where I'm From. Patrick has never forgotten where he's from, and we are very, very grateful that he continues to share his talents with us. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's first inductee of the Camden High School Hall of Fame class of 2017, Patrick Davis.
I can't believe I'm getting inducted into a Hall of Fame of any kind. I feel like the past 15 or so years have been really good. I've been very fortunate, but I also think the next 15 or 20 will probably, they should dwarf what just happened. So I hope I can make you guys proud for a long time, because Camden has made me proud for a very long time, and I love you. Thank you.
We sing. How sweet the sound. Where we are from. Good job, ladies.
Well, I grew up around music. My house was always filled with music. I didn't even really realize that I kind of had the bug for music until I was a little bit older. And my dad had this, our living room was basically, it was really like a music room, because it was record players, and it was tape players and CD players and 10 guitars everywhere and amplifiers, and then there was a record collection that was probably, I'd probably say 3,000-4,000 records on, up against the wall, stacked high. So I was always around music. So I guess when I got a little bit older and I kind of, I dove into it, it wasn't so surprising that I would be somebody that would kind of love it, because I guess it had just always been there without me knowing it. Hootie and the Blowfish guys, Darius and Mark Bryan were super influential in me writing my own music, because when I was at the University of South Carolina, they would come see me play, and I can still vividly remember the night when they said, "Man, you're really good, but if you want to make it in this business, you should probably start writing your own songs." And that was, to me, was like, that was a moment, because these guys are one of the biggest bands in the world at the time, and it just blew my mind, and I was like, okay. And that's when I started really, really kind of honing the craft and trying to write as much as I possibly could.
We all wonder what they mean as the lows being.
When you become a songwriter, you always have to be prepared to let the spirit hit you. You really kind of have to start thinking about everything could be a song. When you hear somebody at a bar and you hear a conversation, a line that you hear might be like, oh my goodness, that would be a great line in a song.
Every show I send this out to my best friend who I've met twice, Mr. Jimmy Buffett. It's called Something About a Boat.
One of the ones that I still kind of can't believe, and is Jimmy Buffett recorded one of my songs that I'd written with some friends of mine. And when Jimmy Buffett, he's always been a songwriter. So for Jimmy Buffett to record a song that he didn't write really means something on a grander scale. You're like, wow, that means that the song was really perfect for him, and that's a really great feeling.
Take you around the world, bring it back home, gives a man something about a boat. We are all in this together.
It's spontaneous every night. It's very exciting. Patrick's a dynamic performer in that you literally never know what's going to happen. We know the forms of the songs and everything, but at the end of the song, it's just wherever the Spirit leads him, that's where we're going.
I guess about 2 or 3 years ago, I kind of got this feeling that I was kind of stuck. And maybe a year and a half ago, I put together what I call Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir. And that is kind of exactly who I actually am. And it's what I want to move towards for the future. And it's a big, I won't say a leap of faith, but it's definitely a little different because all of a sudden it's your name on the marquee. It's you have to be on that stage. You have to bring it every night. So I definitely, it's I wouldn't say scary, but it is a little bit of one of those things where I'm like, well, here you go. It's wonderful now to have my dad on stage. I think it's wonderful for me, but like I said, I think the audience really reacts to that. And when I walk on stage, all the people, it's funny, if they'd never seen me before, you can see them looking like, who's this old guy over here with the guitar? And then when I introduce them as my dad, you can see their faces light up, and they just, it creates this whole other vibe, this energy that otherwise may not be there.
Well, I was a teacher at A-Tech, but I always played music. I was always playing on weekends, so Patrick would come out and sit in with us. He always did a song by the Counting Crows, Mr. Jones, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Last Dance with Mary Jane. He'd always got where he was pretty good. He would do those two songs, and all of his classmates go crazy. People say, how's it feel? I didn't even think about my daughter being up there. And I was standing, we were in Columbia, maybe a year or so ago, and I'm standing there, and I said, golly, Patrick's over here, my daughter over there. So it's pretty unique.
It was my brother, who started to play guitar in high school, and then I was always singing, and my dad, of course, was doing what he did. And so we always kind of did it around the house and things like that. But then to bring it here years later in this setting was it was a whole different ballgame and so much more fun because people got to see us as a family, doing what we really did growing up, but on a big stage.
I go to every show. I'm the merch lady. I sell all the merch, but I also just love seeing my three people on stage, Rusty and Patrick and Megan. Just warms my heart to see them up there, and I cry at every show because I get really emotional. Our son Roger passed away 9 years ago, and I can feel him in the room, and I know how proud he would be of them too. So it's a very emotional thing for me to sit and watch them on stage. It's wonderful.
I wouldn't have my family playing with me on stage if they weren't incredible. And I don't mean that I'm incredible, it's just I want people around me that are better than I am, and if they weren't, then I wouldn't put them on stage, but they are. It's been quite the blessing, and I honestly didn't even realize until I've been doing it for a while just how big of a blessing that was and how special it was, not just for myself and for my family, but how the audience perceives it. Because a lot of people, maybe their mother or their father's no longer with them, or their siblings, or they just don't have that relationship where they can do something that, what we get to do on stage together.